Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
Right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. Happy Monday night. What's up, Brian?
That last little bit gets me. I feel like we need more woodwind instruments or something in there.
Woodwind? We've got some new background music. I'll see if we got some woodwinds.
Yeah,
woodwinds
check that.
built in. Yeah,
check
man.
That. See if we got a good woodwind.
Thanks, everybody, for jumping on tonight. We've got a big show tonight. We've got, obviously, the kayak fishing tournament national season kicked off this weekend. KBF had a load of events over the weekend, and Jason Broach was the big winner, taking home the both 2-day events, which is to
he
me
cleaned out two
the
of them.
deal. Yeah. So we got Jason here to talk to us about that, and of course we always like to talk on the week that was. So what do we want to talk about first, Ryan?
Let's go with the week that was. Yeah.
To me, the biggest news of the week. How about BOS capping out twice, blowing everybody away?
I mean, Toledo, I expected to cap out really because it's, obviously the first of the year. There's always a lot of hype. I think we were at 160 or 170 something on Seminole last year, so I kind of figured it would do well. But man, something. I mean, it was like like when you watch Dogecoin or whatever. Everybody was just like FOMO, like, oh shit, I have to buy now. Sold out Santee, and I really think if they would have had the third event up, it would have sold out this week too. Like, I think people are starting to realize, like, you can't wait till the last minute, and this is a limited deal. TOC keeps getting bigger and bigger. The purse goes up. You have to qualify. Like, so you better get your stuff in order and get entered as quickly as you can.
Yeah, and from the looks of things, it's going to get harder to qualify.
Yeah,
we had never capped, and all of a sudden we got 2 events capping out, and we haven't even started the season yet. So,
man, I think Chick, Susky, Broken Bow, and Dardanelle are going to cap too. Those are my predictions.
Yeah, and Steve's in the comments talking about waiting list. I've heard rumors there's a big waiting list for Toledo and Santee both, and that people actually had already booked houses or something like that, but they didn't pay their entry fee and they missed the run. So
how you gonna book a house and not enter?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the past, people have driven all the way to the event and pre-fished and still didn't enter in time.
Dude, I'm kidding because I used to be like one of the last people to enter. AJ would be like, "All right, Lambert, cutoffs in 6 hours. You pay in or not?"
Yeah, I'm pretty bad about procrastinating, but I'm usually a few days ahead of time. But that ain't gonna work apparently anymore. So you better be on it.
Rusty, I've been trying to bend the bill on this thing. It's a Cadillac Creek hat. I picked it up. That's who I hunted with out there in Amarillo this week. So I'm showing them some love, and I can't get this hat to stay bent. I might have to put it in the oven like an old baseball mitt or something.
Yeah, we got Tim Percy in the comments live from the Truckers Rally in Canada saying that he can't wait to fish Hobie event again. He's coming down across the
Tim, I'm proud. I like you Canadians anyway. I'm proud of the stand that is being made up there. It's impressive. I like it.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Good stuff. Appreciate everybody watching tonight. Help us out and share the stream to your local group or somewhere that somebody might get some entertainment out of this or get some good info. What else happened this week? Bass. Nation kicks off. Bass Nation Kayak Series is this weekend on Fork. Weather's looking like it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, y'all gonna have some weather out there, boy.
Yeah, man. It's I'm coming down from the Ozarks. We call them mountains. They're more hills compared to some other mountains across the country. But still, I'm kind of worried about getting down the mountain to get there. So I don't know how that's going to go. Hope everybody's safe heading that way. But yeah, I don't know what that's going to do to those fish either. I mean, the water's already super low, and the weather's been pretty mild down there. For it looked like for the last month or two, and now all of a sudden they're going to get hit with that cold weather. So we'll see.
At least there won't be a lot of water to freeze. So that's good.
Yeah. And I've seen a bunch of posts, people still having trouble getting registered or getting to the second link to either sign a waiver or pay their second half of their payment. Have you seen that this week?
I hope that gets streamlined. That's something that was kind of recommended as a way to make things easier, less steps, I guess, instead of registering on one site and then acknowledging on this site or whatever. If you can streamline it, man, just make it a deal just like Hobie does through Turning X or whatever. Click it, even add in a column where you type in your member number or whatever it needs to happen to link to the Bass database. But yeah, I think streamlining that would probably help out a lot.
Yeah, a little trouble there. Of course, we're going to have Jason here in a minute to talk about the KBF event. But they had a huge kickoff weekend, had I think 130-ish for both trail events, around 40 or 50 for the Pro Series, I think 78, 80 for the Tenvitational. So they had people in every event, and like I said, Jason's going to talk to us about taking home the two-day events, because those are the toughest to win anyway. Obviously,
cleaned house.
Every time we have somebody on like that's been in a multiple deal where you have single events and 2-day events, a lot of times, just like with this case, they don't win either one of the single-day events, but they were steady over both days of the 2-day events and take the whole shebang after 2 days.
And
so,
I mean, that kind of speaks to why 2-day events are a little more difficult to win, because you have to keep that consistency across the board.
Yeah, like he hung in there and was top 10 both days, top 5, I think, even close both days. But that won him the 2-day event. So we'll get him in here in a minute and talk about that.
I like it.
Anthony Lewis on YouTube asked if I was coming to NSK Central in February. No, I will not be there. I'm going to Toledo after Fork. And then I'll come down and fish with you guys in March for the Ben Spangler Memorial in Conway again. That'll be a good one.
I drove over Conway and thought about that when we passed it this week.
That's a fun lake, man.
It looks pretty.
Looks cool. Different than some of these other Arkansas lakes. Shallow, cypress trees everywhere.
A lot of trees, yep.
Yeah, different stuff. Anything else before we get Jason in here?
We had a little spice on the page earlier, man. People posting up like pics, I guess, like from the tournament, event picks or whatever, judging type stuff. These events, like they're paying people to judge fish. So, while you may not agree with it at home or whatever, like it's the judge's call. Like they make that call. If you're not satisfied with that call or you don't think it was called correctly, that's up to you. That's what we all sign up for when we enter a tournament. You sign up to trust whatever entity that is to make the right calls, to do the judging properly. If you don't like it, then don't fish them anymore. But, overall, like there's not a unlimited amount of time to go through and complain about pictures or judging or whatever. Just don't fish the stuff. That's the good and service that they provide. And if you don't want to consume it, then you don't have to. If you don't like this podcast, don't listen to it. If you don't like a Chevy Malibu, don't buy one. I mean, it's it seems like common sense, but the judging part is part of that service that's provided to you. So when you continue to sign up for things, you're saying, okay, I'm happy with this. Let's keep moving forward.
And the other thing that's kind of bizarre about it is a lot of times the people that are pointing out different problems from different events, whatever the trail may be, is not the people that were in the events.
Right.
It's outside people that are coming through and seeing this stuff, which is kind of bizarre. But that's also the beauty of kayak fishing, which is all of our pictures are online. So whether it's Hobie, KBF, Bass, we can all go back and review the pictures, look at them, and see if there's anything we need to be concerned about for our own selves to go fish those tournaments over. So anyway, the other thing is we still had another post today, and these happen every once in a while. I mean, our page has been around now quite a while. What, like 4 years, 5 years, the group page? It's been there.
Feels like forever.
Feels like forever. it's an open forum. It is what it is. And somehow people still equate that with we are causing some sort of issue for different organizations. Whereas if someone on the group, one of our 13, 14,000 members decides to bring up a topic and you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's the open forum. That isn't I think somebody used the quote chosen few or the KBN elite, KBN elite or whatever the hell they were trying to say. Like we're somehow making that go. It's just like, no, whatever you guys want to bring up and talk about to a point, outside of spam and some other stuff, that's what it's there for, is open forum, talk about whatever, and we let it ride. So don't put that mojo on us like we're just somehow out there creating the problem. It reminded me so much. I know this is kayak fishing. It's just a damn side hobby sport. It's for fun, really. But just like what's going on with the Joe Rogan podcast, which is serious talking about COVID and all this stuff, people don't like who he's talking to or what he's talking about, so they want to just get rid of that. And
cancel
they call him
it. I don't like
like
that. Cancel it.
Like, what are you talking about? Just let people talk. Just if you don't like it, then you just don't like it. And if you do like it, you do. That's great. But I don't understand how people get so fired up about really kind of trivial things sometimes.
I try not to read it. I try not to read into it, but sometimes, man, it just it gets old. It gets old just being beat down, because I think we tried to give a platform, just like tonight we're bringing on Broach to tell us how he just laid the smack down in Florida, to give these anglers a platform to hear kind of their story and what they've done and where they're at and where they're going, really. And I don't want that to get overshadowed by a bunch of bullshit that doesn't really matter anyway. So
yeah, because anybody that's going to complain about our open forum, it's fruitless anyway, because it's not going to change. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. So
facts.
It's not changing, so stop bringing it up.
That being said, with no further delay, let's bring on our boy.
Let's bring him in here.
And hear how he's going to win the 10.
The big winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Boom, there he is. Jason Broach, welcome to KBN Live.
Hey.
What's up, man? And Ryan always has the expert tournament breakdown and expert questions about what happened in the tournament, but I got one question to slide in first. All right? So the original KBN Power Rankings, Mr. Broach was the number 1 ranked angler in the country, according to the original Power Rankings. Now, we didn't have a podcast back then, and we never got to really talk to him about that. But when you saw that, what did that mean to you back then, Jason? Did you think it was some crazy person came up with that, or was that cool? What did you think about that?
I mean, yeah, back then and not being established, it was kind of like, well, yeah, it's cool being number 1. I don't know what it's going to mean.
I don't know who that is. I thought it was like a spoof thing when it first came out. I thought it was just like literally a joke, like you just picked names out of a hat and threw them down.
Yeah. He was number 1, and I thought it might change the trajectory of his career in life, but apparently not.
It did. Look at him now.
Yeah. Anyway, congrats on that. You will be forever enshrined as the first number 1 ranked angler. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, now on to the tournament talk.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan.
No, I mean, I remember, back then, even way before then, you fished the KBS stuff, right, Broach? You were in it from the beginning of the ugliness that that has been the evolution of this tournament stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was, the KBS, I was on the, that third place behind old Shepard and then McRae, I think, and all that went down. And, well, now you're second place. Well, you're going to be first place now. Yeah. It's stupid people in the sport along the.
I mean,
he was
people
the
that don't
beneficiary
know.
of that of the board cutter guy. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Okay.
Old roll down Broach, man. He's got him cornered, son. But I mean, when you back then, man, like you were saying, I mean, the names that would pop up, obviously, like Drew Gregory, but it was like Jason Broach, Josh Stewart, Craig Dye, like those were the names that back then were the hammers that you looked for on a tournament sign-up sheet. Like when you were looking to register, you're like, who's going to kick my ass? Like those are the names that you look for. And Broach, on numerous bodies of water, and I want you to explain some of your inside knowledge of how fish operate that gives you a little bit of a leg up. But I mean, he was always catching fish. It didn't matter where we were. So seeing you go down there and kind of mop the floor in Florida was not really a surprise to anybody, I don't think.
I mean, I do a lot of the standard stuff everyone does. Get on YouTube, watch every Bassmaster FOW video. fishing reports, like current and in the past, get on Google Earth, historical images, study all that. And I guess the thing from the scientist perspective, I go through a lot of scientific literature too, and let's see about the Lake Guntersville bass population, what they've done sampling, where have they sampled, have they done tracking studies, how do those bass move, and I do a lot of that and try to study water movement in different reservoirs, and even down here, the Kissimmee chain, water flow is important, and just bass fighting sometimes a year, and it's something I kind of relied on Saturday and a little bit Sunday, although the wind both days just sucked, and right now those same places there's no current flowing, so it's going to be interesting in that. But yeah, 2016, 2017 were kind of like good years. I just, being in grad school, had a lot of time to pre-fish for most tournaments. Could just take off 2-3 days and go do that. And I'm a junk fisherman. I'm going to throw, the good old chatter jig, Z-Man. And I've been known to throw a square bill a little bit and drag a worm or a lizard. And, it's worked. It got me a long ways. But then, you get Cody Milton. You get Russ Snipers coming in. And you get a lot of hammers. And then a lot of people that dominate on TVA lakes. Talking to one of them right now. And, yeah, there's no longer an easy way to win a tournament. There's harder competition in them, and it's been a while since I've won anything, and it does feel good.
There was definitely not necessarily like a power shift, but kind of a changing of the guard, and there still is. Like you get these young guys like Ewing Minor and Jackson Orr, like you're constantly getting a new pool of talent in every 2 or 3 years. And then some of the guys, like, honestly, it took me probably 4 years to even figure out what the hell I was doing. Like I had, when I started kayak fishing, I had no freaking clue, man. Like I was just trying not to backlash. That was my number one goal every day, was not have to pick a knot out of my reel. But it's cool seeing some of the like AJ commented, you're an OG, like seeing the OGs like come back around, like Jay Wallen, he had comeback season last year where it's like he couldn't do anything wrong. So it's cool seeing some of the old heads hanging around, getting back in the mix.
Yeah, it'd be nice if this momentum kind of keeps up, because a lot of the schedules, Hobie and KBF, they're lining up on fisheries where I've done well in the past, know a little bit about them. So hopefully I can put something together, because there's no better title than an AOI, and whether that's KBF, Hobie. That's one thing I don't have. I've been close 3 years in KBF. Not last year in Hobie, but the year before I think I ended up 5th. And those are the titles I want. That's why I really go after it hard every year.
What is KBF's AOY set up this year? Is it your best 3?
I believe so. And I haven't really paid attention, like with the new daughter and everything. I've been, changing little diapers and trying not to get fussed at, making sure the wife's happy and all that good stuff. And
Smart man.
I just know I just need to win or get close to winning, and yeah. So a 6th and a 3rd right now, Charles Series. I'm happy with that.
That's a good start for sure.
And the national championship being on Kentucky Lake, I'm pretty comfortable with that. But yeah,
you can have that one, homeboy. If I could trade you one lake off the Tennessee River chain, that would be number 1 on the list. I'll let you keep that one. Our state championship's there the week before the national championship is, and I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm dreading trying to, because I've got too much history in my brain up there. What should be good on Kentucky Lake. I'll run 20 miles of ledges trying to find one school, and it ain't happening.
Yeah, I would say the Watts Bar would be my least favorite. That's only because all my stuff was frozen last year during that tournament.
Yeah. Watts Bar, man, we fished our state championship on it this year in the fall, and it was tough. It was still tough, but I like it because you can key on largemouth or smallmouth. So I was catching smallmouth on bluff walls in like 40 feet of water on a fluke, just coming up smoking it. And it's hard for me to be mad at any lake that'll let me do something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Randy Creason in the comments. He wants to talk about this weekend in particular, and his question is simple. What'd you catch him on?
Randy cutting to the chase.
Well, it was a variety. Saturday it was it was getting cold. It was windy, but I was in the canal and kind of protected with current coming through it, and heading out to the canal. I'm like, it's morning time. I'm gonna throw a top water, tie it on a Berkeley Chopo in the first 5 minutes, get an 18. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And I keep going down the canal, and then it turns into a 20. I'm like, I'm gonna keep throwing this a little bit longer, but that kind of died and switched to a spinnerbait, little Z-Man blades, whatever it's called. Got one of that.
Sling Blade Z.
Sling Blade Z. Yeah. Got one of that, and then later on, I ended up snapping it off, and that kind of sucked because in my head, I'm like, dang it. And worked my way back down the canal, picked up a 14, and that was all by 9 o'clock, or a little after 9. So I was pretty happy, like this is gonna happen. I'm gonna get the limit today at least. Then 5 hours go by and not a single bite, and that dreaded 4-fish thing, not finishing out a limit. That's the worst feeling in the world for me.
Yep.
And I go back into this pocket where pre-fishing Friday, there were 2 fish locked on beds, and I'm like, yeah, y'all gonna be easy on Saturday. And all throughout the day Saturday, I went back in that area and they weren't there. But finally, about 2 o'clock, one was kind of, and it wasn't even the same fish that was on Friday, but kind of hanging near that bed, and I'm looking at him, and then I see another fish kind of shallow, and like, if I end up getting 5 fish, Josh and Cody's gonna be like, did you throw a Cinco? And damn it, yeah. So I tied one of those on, and I start kind of casting around that one fish, and a boat starts to pull in the pocket. I'm like, in my head, I'm looking at him kind of cussing, but I already threw the sink out. I'm looking at the boat, just kind of shaking my head. And I look down at the line, and it's taking off, set the hook, and I get that fish, and that was number 5. And 5 bites that day, 5 fish. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy that day, but, it all worked out. And
the first fish and the 5th fish, those are usually the hardest ones to get in the boat.
Tell us a little bit about this before you go to Sunday, Jason. Cold fronts are terrible no matter where you're fishing. It can mess you up. But for some, it really hammers Florida fish. What's up with the cold fronts and really affected those Florida fish?
Yeah, it's just that Florida strain sensitivity. I mean, it's genetic, and it's the way they react to it. It's like there's no need to eat, especially like this time of year when spawning season. They're going to conserve that energy. They're not going to do any more than they have to because they want to spawn, and that's going to take energy. So they just shut down. They don't worry about it.
And they probably know, especially that area, it's going to be warm in like 3 more days. Like you can go, a day or 2 without, eating a rat or something, I'd say.
So it's just like the people down there. They don't come outside for 3 days.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think some of the people went insane with it being this cold down here. And I don't think the whole time I've been down in Florida when I lived here that I've never seen frost on anything. There was frost here on Sunday, and my rudder was frozen up, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna be good.
Did you fish that Bienville tournament or Beanville, whatever they call it, a few years ago, the first one?
Yeah, I think I fished all of them at Bienville, and there was one year. Now I keep my kayak on a foam pad on the back of the truck, so it gets wet. And one of the tournament warnings, I go to slide the kayak off, and the whole foam pad, it was frozen to the kayak.
It was that first year because I took Florida clothes and froze my ass off down there, and that's when I started admitting I should check the weather before I go somewhere because all I had was a raincoat. That was the warmest thing I brought with me.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I saw a comment before we get to Jason's Sunday. It made me remember this, Ryan. Shane Williams is in the comment, and we need to congratulate his boat from winning the trail day 1 event. So congratulations, Shane Williams' boat, piloted by Guillermo Gonzalez.
Shane Williams basically just won a national event.
Yeah,
by proxy. So good job, Shane. I'm proud of you.
There you go. Shout out to Shane.
Definitely some good mojo on it now.
Yeah. Don't wash it. Don't wash it for the rest of its life.
Yeah, man. But anyway, on to Sunday. Day 2, you said you had finished 6th, day 1, and the trail event, sitting good for the 2-day events. So what happened on Sunday?
Sunday I did the same thing, same area, starting in the canal, through the Berkeley Chopo a little bit, nothing on it, and working my way down the canal. I get to the point where I've caught one pre-fishing and one Saturday, and I did get one on a spinnerbait, and that was about it. But I had the Lowrance active target going. And I could throw a chatterbait by the grass, a spinnerbait, a crankbait. I I mean, I threw a lot of different things. I could see fish come out of the grass, and they would be, hauling ass to go grab the bait, and they would never eat it. Well, all right, I'm gonna slow down, so I throw out a, Carolina rig, just to slow down, because I occasionally see them just kind of, linger out there away from the grass, and I couldn't get those fish to react. And it was just as windy on Sunday morning as it was Saturday, so I ended up leaving that spot. But I know there was a discussion about Lawrence or the all the live scope and all that going to help win tournaments or be bad, and it's 50-50. It'll piss you off seeing how many fish come up and follow that bait and don't do anything. But after that, I changed spots and went to some backwater, little pockets, and little canals, and I think it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock when I did that. And I'm going through the canals, and I haven't caught a fish from the Cinco the day before. I was going to throw that Cinco, and I get one. I think it was a 15. Yeah, I think it was 15. Keep working the little canal, get a 13 or something like that. So I'm feeling a little bit better. And I get the urge just to, tie a little tiny Lucky Craft XP, little 78 jerkbait, and going back up that little canal and boom, get a 16. I'm like, okay, yeah. If they eat something with treble hooks, I actually like it. And these particular fish on Sunday, they were choking it. Like, and obviously, with line hanging out its mouth, they were swallowing it. I'll put up pictures of that in their mouth, like, later on.
Oh, damn,
like,
Broach.
Yeah. They were down there. And so I got the 16. I keep going a little bit, and boom, get a 21. I'm like, that was number 5. So I'm happy at that point and pretty set. And what sucked is that canal, I couldn't get signal to upload fish, like, pretty good. Like, it stuck. My battery life went from 50% to 10% from, like, those 2-3 hours I was back there.
Did you have a charger or one of the little battery packs or anything?
I did, but, and I have it hooked to my actual, like, power battery up in the hatch. Mm-hmm. And I was so worried because I didn't have a fuse on it that something might happen and screw up my phone. So I'm like, I don't want to start charging it on the water. Something bad happens. But,
you're too smart, Broach. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Burn her down, son. God.
Yeah, and I kept fishing after that 21 and throwing a Cinco, throwing that little jerkbait. And that jerkbait was on them like they saw it, they were going to eat it. And multiple fish, probably caught over a dozen fish. But I get to the back of another canal and boom, get one. I think it's almost 18. And then almost 2-3 casts right after that, kind of the same spot, boom, get one close to 19. So I'm like, when I got that 19 and I knew I might be in contention to win this thing, I had peeked at the leaderboard earlier before I got this canal and saw, Cody he had a good limit. So, and I didn't know what he had the first day, but I knew that one that was close to 19 might have done it for me. And I kept fishing the canal a little bit longer, kept trying to get those photos uploaded. Finally found one little area in that canal where my 5G would pop up in 2 bars, so kind of just lingered around that. And it was, 6%, 2-3 minutes later, 50%. Okay, it's loading at least. And that's why everything came late in the day in terms of photos being uploaded. I'm not a sandbagger because you never know what might happen to that phone. If fish knocks it in the water.
We've seen it happen.
Yeah. I think it's happened a lot of. I've lost a phone in the water from big fish, and I don't sandbag. If I catch fish, I try to upload them if I had the signal, and I just had bad signal back there. But yeah, I got those fish in and saw the leaderboard, and I was waiting on sandbaggers, to come in by 4 o'clock, and then it never happened. So I was like, well, I might have won this. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
So when you talk about these canals, tell everybody kind of how the Kissimmee chain is laid out, as far as lakes being connected. Are these canals flowing water? Are they just docks and houses and stuff? Well, what's the layout?
Yeah, there's a good bit of fishbowl type lakes in Florida, and there's a couple on the Kissimmee chain. And you got like West Toho, which is, pretty distinct in this shape, and Kissimmee also distinct. But the canal structures, their flow chart, it's laid out South Florida Water Management District. You can find all that stuff online, and they actually show you, the flow coming out of the spillways and things like that. And if you look at some of the old Bassmasters and the FLW videos, you don't see a lot of people doing it, fishing those spillways. But a lot of locals, shiner fishermen, especially on the St. John's, I mean, they make a living taking people to a spillway and just boom, 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 boom. It is stupid. But I can't do that in this tournament because you can't throw across the buoy line. But so I got above the current. Yeah.
If this was an online tournament, you'd have won that son of a gun. No,
oh, yeah. You get right over them buoys. You don't give a shit. Tie off to the spillway.
Yeah,
just upload your photos on the other side of the buoy line.
I was on the other side of the spillway getting that current coming before it hit and just going up that canal. And because that was, yeah. I don't want to say what lake I'm on.
You don't have to, but I mean, you know, for some of the
there's going to be other guy on it. So
learning anglers, like usually that's the reason that river fishermen stay, you know, so consistent. These guys that really try to find current and skinny water. If you find current, you've found fish that are feeding. Like those fish are up there positioned to feed. Like that's the whole reason they're around current is to catch anything blowing by. So that's why people look for stuff like that.
And predictable spots. You know, when that current's, you know, you working those eddies up in TVA lakes, whether it's a point, the eddy current, a rock boulder, something that creates a little spot for them to sit and ambush, it gets more predictable. And, yeah, like you said, those river fishermen, they're consistent.
Amens.
Let's talk a little bit about consistency over these 2-day events, man. I'm going to throw this on the screen again. So right there in second and third in the Tenvitational, Cody Hanley won day 2. Adam Patron finished third in day 1. I don't know where Gamera's on every G won day 1, but I think Adam was the highest finisher that was in the Tenvitational also, or one of them. But you didn't win either day. You didn't finish first for either of the 1-day events. You were third and sixth. So that shows, number one, what a big deal 2-day events are to kind of separate the anglers that can manage fish over multiple days, and just being consistent. So what plays into your mind going into a 2-day event versus fishing those 1-day events? Or with it all mixed up like this, did you just fish as hard as you could and saw what happened, or how do you manage that?
I mean, it's always kind of a fish as hard as you can and see what happens, but also number one thing you got to do in multi-day tournaments, you catch a limit every day. If you don't do that, high chance you're not going to win. You think about single-day events, one big fish can just, give you that edge. And being consistent, getting those big bites, can't even think of the word. Getting those big bites is, you got to get at least 1 or 2 each day. You can't rely on one, just one day.
In a single day event, you can literally luck into 2 fish and win the whole thing. In a 5-fish event, you can luck into 2 big bites and you're good. Not saying you don't have to have a limit, but if you get 2 over 20, you're usually sitting pretty good in probably 90% of the tournaments that we fish. There's not a whole lot that you see stringers of 21 plus multiple fish.
Yeah, case in point, the fellow that finished runner-up won the day 2 event, and look at that monster that he anchored his limit with on day 2. But only had 79 on day 1. So great event for him, but that consistency over 2 days.
That top lobe looks like it might have been longer than that bottom lobe. If we would have straightened that out. That's a hoss right there.
Could have swiped down. Somebody else had a 24. I think Big Bass of the event was 24, right, Jason? Am I right on that? Or
yeah, there was a 24 caught, and I think Josh.
So there's another thing that came up during this. Look at the hand. What was the rule on the anal gland or anal fin or something like? There's something about anal that was troublesome in the rules on this. What
you can't
what
be past that right there. The peduncle. It's called the peduncle.
You can't go past the end of the anal fin. That's the correct.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know. I try not to put my hand on the fish unless absolutely necessary. And
right.
When I do, it's usually like 2 fingers kind of dead in the middle of the body, just to avoid all of that. And
gotcha.
Yeah, obviously, every tournament, don't put your hand under the gills and all that mess.
Yeah.
But
there's some kind of rule on that. I saw several posts about it. something about the anal fin. I don't know if it was before or after or whatever.
It's called the peduncle principle, right?
Well, I do apologize. I should update my vocabulary there. I didn't even have that one listed. So
There we go. There's that 24. Found it. But I can't see the anal fin. Did I just cause a problem here? What's going on?
what was that? Was that the DQ fish?
No, this one counted, but I don't know the rules, so don't get me. I'm not starting anything.
Katie Backa post.
I'm not starting anything.
She literally just posted it.
Yeah.
So it's behind the anal fin. All right, we got it. We're clear
All right.
now.
Phew, scaring me. All right, so we're good there. But that's a monster. The dang Florida monsters, and he caught it on a gambler. That's a Conrad Benetti special up there, gambler.
Man, Conrad, boy, we put you on the pro team, son.
Yeah, we did have him on the deal, the fantasy.
How
team.
do we do on that? Do we know?
I don't know. Why you question Jason here? I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Didn't we pick Jason, or was he too expensive?
I thought we picked Jason. I picked Jason in my heart. I don't know if you picked him or not, but I said Jason Broach.
We brought his
Period.
name
Amen.
up, but I think he was too expensive. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway,
Would have been money well spent because he's about
I
to
know.
crack this 10 wide open. How are you feeling going into the 10? When does it start? How's the weather going to change? Those three, go.
The weather's getting good. It's warming up, so maybe new fish comes in shallow. I'm kind of hoping that because I'm going to go back to the same canals, and I have no doubt the same fish are still there, but I need bigger fish because they opened up a new lake down towards the end of Kissimmee, and hell, there's two people today that probably lost two over 11, 12 pounds down there.
And they opened that lake up today. Is that correct?
Yeah, for the 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
New lake. And all my years down here, I've gone to Lake Jackson, which is right by Marion, and Kenansville, which is over in that area. I've never fished that particular lake because all I've ever heard about was, it's a great crappie fishery. And I never heard anything about bass, but apparently
There's two in there at
big
least.
fish in there. Yeah, there's two in there that could swallow volleyballs almost, like giant. So probably a good bit of people are going to go down there, and they might break 100 both days. They might not. They might not get 5 fish. I don't know. But going back to canals, I'm sure I'm going to get. How I say this, I better knock on wood, but I'm kind of confident I'll get 5 fish. I have no idea how big they're going to be. If they're turned out small by like 12 o'clock, I'll move, grab the punching rod, and just hope for a 26 come out of the grass or something like that. We'll
Boy.
do that.
Man, I commend you guys that punch in tournaments. For me, punching is, I would rather drag a Ned rig across pebbles than punch. Like, that's just such a slow, monotonous bite. I cannot bring myself to do it. I know it works. I know big fish live under the mats. I completely understand it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I've never been able to get like a hot bite where you just catch multiple fish doing it. I might catch 2 or 3 a day, and that's it for me.
Right.
Seeing what Russ did down at TFC Eufaula, and that same area we were at, I'm throwing that chatterbait, throwing a buzz bait. I get 1 or 2 bites, and Russ goes back there. Like, maybe I should start punching more and like just keeping at it. And my longest bass I've ever caught, I've caught punching, and I've caught some decent fish doing it. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it down in Florida where it's it can shine.
I completely, until right now, I forgot that you were part of the lock gate fiasco. Because you launched at the other ramp and came down the lake. We had pedaled our asses off, and we hadn't even made a cast yet. That was terrible.
What sucked is we get right there at the ramp, and they open the gate.
And the other dude was launching by the time we got there. Patience is a virtue that I've never had. Good for him.
I couldn't sit there and wait.
I'm going back to a question from Brad because he's demanding it.
I know. I saw him post that.
Yeah. All right, Brad. We're going to answer. Put it up here on the screen. So, Jason, how far do you live from Kissimmee, and how do you change course to fish the Tenvitational, win it, and then you got to stay and fish the 10? How does that work? Do you have vacation time? Did you just plan on winning? Did you know you were going to be in the 10 house? How does that work?
No, I came down here to kind of have fun and all the different tournaments of like if I win a trail, that'd be awesome. Get a little bit of money. If I win the Tenvitational, a little bit more money. Pro Series money. So there was that, and just being a Florida fishery, having a chance of catching a giant. Last year I didn't catch one over 10 pounds, which that's my goal every year, to catch one over 10 pounds. So obviously, I should.
It's my goal my whole life, Broach. Fuck. Last year I didn't catch anything over 12. It's a pretty bad year.
I mean, you go down to Felsner for 5 days, you're gonna hook into one or two, and it'll happen. It's just
Facts.
But I was excited to come down here, it being a Florida fishery, and having made it to the 10, by my English year rankings 3 years in a row. Winning my way into it by this tournament, the Tenvitational. It's not the same, but it's still, hell, I'm here, so I'm going to try to win it.
Might as
In
well
terms
win
of
it.
having time off and planning for it, I had no idea I was actually going to win this thing, and I had to, text my boss and the manager at work, like,
Hey,
Hey guys, got caught up in Florida. I'm not gonna make it out.
Hey, look, you can tell us. Hey, nobody's watching this. Did you call in sick? Let's tell the truth, man.
Yeah, I got the COVID. I can't come home.
I'll be quarantining down here at the 10 house. Don't worry about it.
I got Florona.
Yeah.
I cannot leave. Yeah, I got you.
I had to get that lined up. I got plenty of vacation days at just short notice like that, and my work. I work with fish 5 days a week, and I actually have a experiment going on with some larval marine fish, and they have to be fed like multiple times a day. You have to keep them happy, and it's a lot of work. And so now I got someone having to do that 3 extra days when I could be helping out with that. So it kind of sucks, but yeah.
But you're a PKA. You're a PKA, so that should be acceptable. When they hire you on, they should know.
Man, we got this man's running experiments and cashing checks. Legend.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
What was your total take home out of the 2 wins?
I have no idea. It was kind of a blur. Like,
TBD, bro.
I don't
TBD.
even know what I won.
maybe 6 to 8. I can't remember.
Okay.
So it's decent, and that puts a smile on the wife's face, and buys diapers, buys formula, and all that good stuff.
Similac. That's Similac money, son.
Listen to him.
Hey, I saw when I was trying to check our fantasy team, Jason. I saw you had a team in that too. Did you pick yourself?
I did.
Bet on yourself. All right.
He knew what was going to happen.
You bet on yourself. I like
my
that.
team's there's 2 people on my team that's going to stay the same the whole year. That's me and Cody. I'm going to have him, and then just kind of have to juggle based on where the fishery's going and all that. But Cody's going to make money this year. You got to have him, and Russ, you got to have him. But balancing that budget.
Yeah, that's what. And I
mean that's one of the cool variables that they threw into that was the salary cap deal. You got to pick kind of who your horse is going to be.
Yeah, I looked, Ryan. We didn't have Jason.
Are you kidding me?
He was too expensive.
Whatever, man. We could have dropped one of them Old Town dudes and put Broach on.
We did have DeCenzo. He cashed pretty good, and we had Patron, so we did all right.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. I think we had Gene Jensen too. We had Gene too, Ryan. We can talk about him later as well.
Yeah, we could.
TBD if we're going to or not. We'll see.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Cruz is asking. Can somebody tell this man how much he won? The Cruz wants to know.
Katie Backa, how much did Broach win?
Katie,
we need help. We need professional assistance.
Damn it.
I'm thinking it was somewhere in the 6,000, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How much is the 10?
It should be 10,000, and like you get $1,000 for making it into it. Like everyone gets 1,000.
Oh shit! Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I saw everybody gets a 10. What do you call that? Trophy? What's on your table there?
Medallion.
Ryan? Medallion. Yeah.
Is it a necklace?
No, everybody gets. I guess you can make it a necklace.
Like a no limit tank. Is that what they got?
You can make it one. You can make.
I
one,
like it.
I'm
down.
Yeah.
And I'm the clock deal that the guy wears.
Flavor Flav. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but then I think the 10 trophy's about the same size as that Pro Series one, so that'd look good next to it, right?
Yeah, those things are legit. I think it's 28 pounds, or it's stupid heavy.
Those are the new catch trophies, right?
Yeah. They're pretty much like 4 catch boards on the side and 2 aluminum plates sandwiching them in the big oval disc at the top. So
I got you. Okay.
it's pretty impressive. Cody and Russ, I probably have one or two of those this year. It's good to get the first one though, because might not get another chance as good as everyone else is. So.
What's on your schedule for the season, man? What events, like if you had to pick top 5 for the season, what are your top 5 events that are on the schedule?
KBF, there's still Murray out because that's right down the road from me, South Carolina, and then Gunnersville, it's one of my favorite fisheries. Hobie, Toledo Bend, Santee, and then I'm going to be quick to sign up whenever these events come. But you follow Kick, and there's no way I'm missing the Susquehanna. It's one of those events. I don't even care if I win that one. It's just being on that fishery, watching a smallmouth come up, hit a top water, coming out the water and just being mean. That's an awesome place. Like that one's probably cap out in about an hour. I would think 200 people in and out.
It'll be quick, man. I think again, I think Chick, Susky, and Broken Bow. I think I think you'll see all the Texas folks come up for Broken Bow, and maybe even some of those Arky guys come down for that one.
Yeah, that's pretty much my season. Those different events, and I may try the bass on the Harris chain, but I don't know. There's so many now to choose and kind of focus on it. I'm going to pick things that are kind of close to home, and then awesome fisheries like Susquehanna, and just kind of go with it.
I've seen some posts you made, Jason, about the BOS trail. What do you think about that wild run to cap out 2 events quick like that while you guys are down there trying to fish in Florida and you're having to keep up with that, make sure you get your entries in? Did anybody down there miss it that you knew of? Anybody miss the signups?
Not that I can think of, but I remember checking it Thursday night and Friday night and seeing 50 people at Santee, waking up and it going up to 80. I'm like, no, hell, I ain't no way I'm missing this. So I had to sign up for that.
It went from 80 to 200 real quick too, because that was 80 was the breaking point. Once it hit 80, it was just wildfire. I don't know how or why, but it sure was.
It broke resistance. That's stock market talk, right?
Yeah,
whatever.
Like it's happened once, and now every tournament, it probably doesn't matter where it's going to be. Like people can be jumping on them, and I think they're going to be highly attended events this year.
I think they're going to be high too.
200. Yeah.
I think no, seriously, and I made that post and it was kind of joking about AJ cracking the code. I think once you break through that threshold in people's minds with supply and demand, they understand you really could not even have the opportunity to fish. And I think once people get that concept in their heads, like, oh shit, I could miss out on not only this tournament, I could miss out on qualifying for the TOC if I sit here, on $260 for 2 more days. Like I think that was a big step right there, making that, ingrained in people's heads.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that stuff's happening in like a day. It ain't like you can check it and say, oh, it's 60. I'm good for a couple more days. I'll do it on Friday. No.
We were messaging guys in our house that we already have booked on Santee. Like, hey, dude, you have to sign. Like, we've already paid for this house. Like, you have to sign up right now. And Aaron White, my boy, man, he was at a football game, at his kid's football game, and missed it. Like, missed it. Already in on the house and just watched it go.
Yeah, so I think they changed a little, not a rule, but a procedure and how they're going to do this going forward. If I saw that right, they're going to announce when registration is going to open for the next event and do them one at a time so that people can kind of get their ducks in a row beforehand.
Dude, that's
like concert tickets.
I know. That's what I was going to say. It's going to be crazy. Ticketmaster will be snatching that shit up. I'll be selling them for $500 a pop.
Yeah, Chris Morales is selling his Toledo spot for $1,200. I think I saw.
Wow.
AJ's in the comments. 47-person wait list for Santee.
That's insane.
Wow. Somebody
That's insane.
I may go host a concurrent tournament for those 47. Charge little.
Broach, I mean, we've talked about you being here since the very beginning of these national trails. Did you think we would see this point in the let's say 5-year time span that it's been? Did you think that we would be at the point to where $265 entry fees were normal and then they were maxing out at 200 people? Like, you're hitting the asterisk. Like, you've got all the money you said you were going to have.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
Thought, but never really fully believed it. Yeah, you always knew it could happen, and it's finally good it did happen. And high payouts too, high attendance, and pots are getting bigger. Hobies, KBFs, like I know y'all post a lot of them, like anglers making money fishing. Obviously, it's about promoting and doing all that, but now, I mean, hell, someone can make a year's salary now, and winning a couple of tournaments, so that's good in itself too.
And what was the advertised payouts for that first KBS? It was something astronomical with the asterisk, but it was like 100. I think it was 100 grand or something total payouts for that first event down there in Astor, Florida. But to go from that, and even last year looking at the Hobies, we got kind of 3/4 of the way full a few times, but to just think of the first two going like that, now it's a guaranteed 10K for first place. That really kind of changes the paradigm on the whole thing, and not only for Hobie, but I think for the other events as well. Like you appreciate the fact that it is an opportunity, and it may not be unlimited. It could run out, it could sell out. You kind of need to jump on this stuff, whether it's Bass, KBF, Hobie, or whatever. But like there's no point in procrastinating. I think that's been one of the biggest issues for kayak anglers is we like to wait until the last second.
And that's something else we don't even realize, or people don't realize. The entry fees are still relatively, I mean, they're very cheap compared to Bassmaster Opens or whatever. It's so cheap. But the one thing this may do is prepare us as a group for down the road, much higher entry fees and having to prepay. If people are getting used to having to pay right away, that's the first step to learning how to pay, a handful of entry fees before the season even starts, or put a deposit down or whatever, to get truly, truly big time money. I mean, it's unbelievable where we're at now, but it can only grow. If it's managed right, it can only grow.
Yeah, it's looking good for the future, definitely. By the way, it started off with having out like that.
I think once the sponsors see that kind of commitment, and I'm not talking about the sponsors like our traditional sponsors. I'm talking about these huge bait manufacturers that are kind of sitting on the outside, these non-endemic sponsors. Once they start seeing that buy-in up front and they know that there's X number of people committed to this, I think that's when you're really going to see things elevate. So, capping out these events is awesome, but capping out these events may double the prize pot 2 years down the road. So, I mean, everybody needs to kind of take that kind of stuff into account. If you want to see this, the long game of how kayak fishing plays out, that's what has to happen. They want a full field. They want that many eyes on it. They need a guaranteed reach number, if you will, for what their investment's going to be in the series.
Yeah, I mean, when you can show events capping out like that, when you take it to a sponsor, there's going to be this many people out there, and it makes it a lot easier from that aspect and getting those additional dollars for everything. So getting Toyota to send 5 random anglers and get them on the Toyota team and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'd even like to see Toyota and some others dip in with some contingency money. You know what I mean? But that's going to take, like Ryan was talking about, consistent high entries and exposure.
Didn't they offer something? Didn't Toyota offer some kind of contingency money for something? Am I crazy?
I think they included maybe Bass Nation Kayak Series in their contingency plan.
I thought it was Bass. Yeah, I thought it was Bass. If you had a new Toyota or whatever it was.
Yeah, but you'd love to see that, even from kayak brands or whoever, if they just threw some money at owners of Old Towns or Hobies or whatever the case.
Yeah. How do you, anyway. Steve Fields? How do you get Hobie to turn loose some money? What's the magic button on that?
Yeah.
Bonus bucks for Bass Nation. Yep, Drew is all up in it tonight, boy.
Appreciate
He's got us. He's got us.
Joey Randall just said, we just showed Hobie they can go up to $300 on entry fees. You're probably right.
Man, shut up, Joey.
Extra $35.
Don't tell him that.
What's it? Just like my gas bill, just goes up overnight.
Inflation is a killer.
Yeah. Billy Bowden, hashtag Wide Dick Open.
Wide Dick Open, baby.
He said, how's Broken Bow going to support all these anglers? Isn't there like 5 boat ramps? Yes, but it will. Broken Bow is a pretty big lake. you're just gonna have to pedal to get away from some folks. That's just how it's gonna go. And there's ramps at all three levels of the lake. I guess down by the dam, all the way up the river, in between. So folks are gonna have to launch and just pedal.
I'm gonna be with Dylan Lowry and Joseph Sanderson at the two-stepping joint, so you ain't got to worry about us crowding up a ramp.
That's the Hoshatown Saloon, Ryan. That's what that's called.
Well, drop a pin, player, because I'm on the way.
The saloon. Yeah. Fun fact: that town of Hoshatown's got more medicinal dispensaries per capita than any place I've ever seen in my life. So nice little
terrible news.
Yeah. That'll be a fun. You going to that one, Jason? You gonna make the trip to Broken Bow?
No, that was a little far, and yeah, it'd be nice. I've never been on that fishery, but one day down the road I'll be on it, but not this year.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
I've never done lacrosse either. But that's one I need to.
You ain't got to worry about it this year on the Hobie scene. Yeah. We're hitting the Fox and what's the other one?
Fox in the Tail. Maybe. Wolf River. That's it.
What? Oh, we ain't gonna get on the foxtail discussion.
Okay, there we go. Steve Fields, he said, I think, and others, that Bonus Bucks is next across the sponsorship pools.
Okay.
There we go. And that just means owning something Bonus Bucks, not having to buy into the Bonus Bucks, maybe. You know what I mean? Like Ryan owns some Shimano's, maybe he'll get some Shimano contingency money or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Good stuff. Katie already threw the Hoshatown Saloon in the comments.
Boom. Yes.
Appreciate you, Katie. Randy Creason said, Broken Bow is huge. Get ready to pedal 45 minutes. Last year, Randy, for the BOS event, I pedaled 1 hour before I made a cast, and then 1 hour back at the end of the day, both days. So, but I never saw another kayak.
Were you 150 feet from the bank?
That's different regulations. GRDA on Grand Lake. Yes, I would have been probably arrested and thrown in jail for how far away from the bank I was. But on Broken Bow, that doesn't apply.
Fair enough.
Yeah, doesn't apply.
When does the 10 start, Broach? In the morning?
Yeah, 7 o'clock, first cast.
Oh, my. We got to get you to bed, man.
I mean,
yes, sir.
All my stuff's pretty much ready. So.
You going to start with the Chapo?
The Chapo, maybe they're the buzzbait, just because I'm going to have that GoPro going just to get some good footage. And hopefully fish turning flips over it and annihilating it, but we'll see.
Do you like the Chapo that much better than the Plopper? Serious question.
I recently just started using it, and it definitely has a distinct sound. I think it's a little bit louder than Whopper Plopper, and it's going to get tested out on the Susky this year because I know they always do Whopper Plopper over there, but I'm going to try that Chapo out over there.
Ryan, this weekend I caught my first fish of the year on the Chapo.
Did you?
Sunday, yeah. Sure.
Is everybody going Chapo? I didn't even know.
So.
I'm going to keep throwing the Plopper if everybody else is throwing the Chapo then.
I didn't throw the beaver one. That was that fellow we had on that threw the beaver Chapo up there and won that event.
It was Smalley's Rule, wasn't it?
Yeah, Smalley's Rule guy.
Yeah.
The beaver colored Chapo. You got one of them,
I like
Jason?
it. I like it.
I got a few different colors, but I don't think I got the beaver one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I get my tournament rig. It's getting picked up from the wrap shop tomorrow, so it'll be heading to the Dugout. If anybody needs their kayak rigged out for the season, the Dugout does a great job rigging. Nick will take care of you. They will put in batteries, lights, the cleanest finder rigging you've ever seen, motors. I mean, USB ports. I'm having some USB plugs front and rear so I can external power GoPros all year. But the Dugout will take care of you, and they're going to be carrying the wrap kits from my buddy Kerry Bell, who wrapped my kayak at 400 Inc. $400 for the wrap, $150 if you want it installed. So if anybody needs a wrap, get with me or get with Kerry Bell, and we can get it laid out and on your boat ASAP.
Didn't you say my Old Town partner McClurkin rolled through Dugout on the way down to Florida?
Dude, McClurkin has a freaking rig, son. He's got 360 and a Humminbird Live, if I'm not mistaken, on his Old Town. 2 screens. He got it tricked out. We were at lunch when he came to pick it up, so I wanted to do a little live deal, but obviously Dugout lunches run a little long, so we missed that one.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Katie threw the link in the comments. Pushing up against the hour. We got Jason having to fish early in the morning. We don't want to keep him too long. Man, we certainly appreciate you taking the time after a long weekend of fishing and just moving into the. Are you in the tent house right now? Is that where you're sitting?
And it's pretty nice setup. And
Okay. Yeah, you're in there right now, so
I
we
love
appreciate
it.
it, man.
Yeah. A lot of stuff was on the bed laid out. The standard like 10 package everyone gets. DZ
Yeah.
stuff, Yeti stuff, Yak Attack, all that.
You don't want to take the camera walking around the house. They might want to see Ryan. Who knows? I want to say hi to everybody.
And something Lambert.
Shit.
I got some pool juice.
Oh.
It'll make you a better pool player.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got to do that again, man. We have to.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, good luck. Get some rest. Wear them out. Don't let old Jody Queen repeat whatever you do.
Look at there.
I mean,
The theme
he
music.
is injured. He does have a hurt wrist. Yeah, he's got something's wrong with his wrist.
Carpal tunnel?
I think he cracked it he fell on some ice or something.
No kidding. That ain't good.
I mean, he's Jody. He could probably still win with one hand tied behind his back.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna stop him.
Close his eyes. Yeah.
They ain't gonna stop him. Well, good luck, buddy. Catch him up. We'll be watching, keeping up with it. It's 2 days, correct?
Yeah, 2 days, and they even extended fishing time, so I think we get 9 hours. Like the last cast is at 4, so
I got you. All right.
can't do math right now.
You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah. We catch some fish. We'll see if they're big, small. I don't know. We'll catch them. So.
Yeah, man.
Bring home 3 checks.
All right. Well, everybody get that second screen at work going tomorrow so you can follow along, see what Jason does down there. And we'll fire up another show for you next week. See everybody or some of y'all down at Lake Fork this weekend. Should be a fun time.
Sounds good. Be safe.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Later, boys.